territory. A 26-yard run. The Auburn defense, Ron Starr with Benji Rowland and Nate Hill on the defensive line. The inside backers are Kurt Crane and Edward Phillips. The outside backers, Alvin Mitchell and Andre Bruce. At cornerbacks, Kevin Porter, Alvin Briggs. And the safeties are Greg Staples and Carlo Cheatham.
It's interesting that Georgia comes out to try to throw the ball immediately. Jackson rolls out to his right, gets good containment. Then this is what he does even better than throw it. He runs it. He makes a great play here, and Georgia's on the move already.
Osborne getting set in the slot to the right. Here's Lars Tate's first carry of the day, and he takes it to the Auburn 44-yard line. Inside linebacker Kurt Crane came over to make the tackle. Lars Tate is the number 4 rusher in the SEC and number 20 in the NCAA with those statistics this season. The Georgia Bulldogs coming in at 7-2. Their losses to Clemson and LSU, 4-1 in the SEC. Second down and 6. The tight end flip-flops, Troy Sadowski. To the fullback. And Ellis just a couple of yards to the 42. In there was inside linebacker Edward Phillips to make the tackle.
All right, third down and 2. Very big play for Georgia. They usually like to take the quarterback, number 14, and attack the outside perimeter. So we could look for 14 to roll to his right and either run or pass.
The Bulldogs send John Thomas, number 9, wide to the right side. And Osborne a wing left. Now Osborne in motion. Jackson, pressured, escapes, dives for the first down. It's going to be awfully close at the 39-yard line. The spot of the football, Lee, is the all-important thing here. It's going to be 4th down.
Jackson rolls out to the right, as we talked about it, because he wants to put the pressure on the outside perimeter. Right here, he makes a good judgment to go forward, and instead of really just ramming in there and getting the first down, he's about a yard short. And one of the reasons why they go to Johnson eventually, he's bigger and stronger, and they're worried about Jackson's size. He's only 5'11", 175 pounds.
David Dukes is the short punt specialist for the Georgia Bulldogs. Here's his punt angled toward the sideline, and it goes out of bounds. And we'll take a look at the Auburn Tiger offense. The quarterback of Auburn is Jeff Berger. Running backs is Stacy Danley and Reggie Ware. The receivers are Lawyer Tillman, Walter Reeves, and Duke Donaldson. The offensive tackles, Eric Floyd and Stacy Searles. Interior line, Stacy Dunn, John Hudson, and Rodney Garner. This is an Auburn Tiger offense that leads the SEC at just under 32 points per game. And trying to bounce back off that big loss against Florida State last week. Donaldson in motion. Berger hands it off, and it comes to Stacy Danley. The Georgia defensive line, Bill Goldberg and Larry Brown. Up front along with Tyrone McClendon and Aaron Shaw. The linebackers are Vince Guthrie, John Bradley, and Kerry Webster. And the cornerbacks are Ben Smith and Mark Vincent. And the safeties, Will Jones, Rusty Beasley. It's going to be second down and 6 for the Auburn Tigers. Berger on the draw. Danny flies ahead to the 20-yard line. Stacy Danley, a redshirt freshman from Winston, Georgia, and a number of players, Lee, that crossing the border to play back in their home state today for Auburn.
Danley has averaged over 5 yards per carry in the last 3 ball games. Now it's Berger's first chance to throw the ball with third down and 2. Usually in these situations, he likes to go to one of the backs coming out of the backfield for about a 4 or 5 yard pass.
It's 3rd and 2. Again in motion. It'll be a handoff to Danley to the 25, to the 26, and a first down for the Auburn Tigers.
Automatically, we can see what Auburn's game planning right now. Auburn's going to test the manhood of the Georgia defensive line by running right at him. As he goes back on his sprint draw, he gives the ball to Danley, who makes a break to the backside. Number 54, Guthrie, misses the tackle, but automatically you find out Auburn's going to test the man-on-man, who's a better person up front.
the first down of the game. Auburn has it 1st and 10 from their own 26. Berger throws over the middle, and it goes to Walter Reeves, the tight end. And Walter is over the 30 out to the 33-yard line.
Berger's first pass, a nice completion right in the middle. Now, what Berger does back in here, if you watch, he drops back and he reads number 42, Brantley. Brantley goes to his right, to his left, and he hits Reeves right in between them. That play is designed to watch Brantley and go opposite of him to the tight end. Nice strategy, safe pass to start the ball game for Berger.
2nd down, and the handoff to the fullback, Reggie Ware. And the senior from Huntsville, Alabama, with the carry out to the 35-yard line. Reggie Ware gets those tough yards for the Tigers.
Big, strong runner, 6'2", 236 in the senior. The one thing about Ware, they like him on this situation, which is 3rd down and 1. But against Florida State last week, they almost lost the ball game because they didn't make this kind of situation.
2nd, 3rd down situation for the Tigers. Reeves and Sellers in, the 2 tight ends. Ware gets the tough yards. And a 1st down for the Auburn Tigers out to the 38-yard line.
Well, there's a big difference automatically. The offensive line of Hudson, Dunn, and Garner up middle, watching in the front. And then in 66, Hudson gets a good block, and there comes Ware up the middle. That's a wedge blocking used about 1900 to run into the middle. An outstanding play because the linemen come off the ball, and the big fullback, 236-pound Ware, makes a big, important 1st down for the Auburn Tigers.
Auburn has moved the football out from its own 12 to the 38. Berger with the toss, and it goes to Danley, and he's tripped up. The Georgia defense is there, led by number 42, linebacker John Brantley. He's a whale of a player.
What a player he is. And number 42 comes from the inside. Now watch him to the right of your picture as Danley breaks back. Wow, he really gets popped by number 42, Brantley. Brantley is 6'2", 225 pounds, and he comes from the inside. He's from Wildwood, Florida, and an outstanding middle linebacker. I can't hear.
John Brantley making that last tackle. It is 2nd down and 10. Here's Berger going to the air, and he throws complete to Reggie Ware. Hit and dropped immediately over the 40-yard line up to about the 43. No score. We have 8:36 to play. There's a penalty flag down on the flag. Coming over for Georgia, Vince Guthrie, the middle linebacker to cover. The referee, Dick Burleson, indicating a face mask against the Georgia Bulldogs. Pat Dye, the Auburn coach, Vince Dooley, facing the sidelines. Georgia can clinch a share of the SEC championship with a victory. They end their regular season against Georgia Tech. And, of course, Auburn must win 2 today against Georgia and then against Alabama. Lee?
That was a 15-yard penalty because it was not inverted. That face mask was done on purpose, and that's why it's 3 times as long a penalty, 15 yards.
So the penalty gives Auburn a 1st down and 10 at the Georgia 42. Berger throwing to the near side, tipped it incomplete. Fine defensive play for Georgia's Roverback, Will Jones, as he tipped that pass away from Lawyer Tillman.
They tried to get the ball to Tillman that time, like we talked about at the beginning of the show, but number 89, Jones, gets a good play. Now, it's a fake to the tailback and rolls to the right. Berger's right on target here, but watch Jones, number 29, just deflect the ball at the last minute. Notice, ladies and gentlemen, 2 red shirts on Tillman. That's the object. Keep that guy bracketed. 1 deep, 1 short, because he's a great football player.
It is 2nd down and 10. Berger handing it off. Danley over the 40, down to the 38-yard line. I know, Lee, that you really respect the talents of Lawyer Tillman, not only as a receiver, but also as a runner.
After he catches the football, that's what makes him even more dangerous. He's so big. He's 6'4", 224 pounds. He averages over 18 yards per catch. That's why they've got to get the ball and find ways to get the ball in his hands.
So another 3rd down situation, Lee. It's 3rd and 6 for the Tigers. See what Jeff Berger has in mind here. He's going to send to the near side Alexander Wright as a wide receiver. In fact, 4 go out. Berger looking, and it's going to be incomplete. He was trying to hit Stacy Danley out of the backfield. Ryan Shulman will come in to punt for Auburn as Berger misfires.
Berger misfired that time because the pass receiver did not run the correct route. He thought he had him coming a little bit closer, but he went a little bit deeper than normal.
Mike Bowen is the deep man for the Georgia Tigers. No score, 7:28 to play in the quarter. And Shulman to punt it away. He'll be kicking from midfield. John Hudson is the deep snapper. And Shulman angling at the 8-yard line. The catch is made by Mike Bowen. A timeout on the field after the 30-yard punt. There's no score in Athens, Georgia. Auburn. Showdown matchup. Georgia back up in its own territory on their 8-yard line. First down and 10 to start their second drive of the game. Jackson handing to Lars Tate. Auburn sealing the corner quickly. And Tate gains just a couple of yards. Carlo Cheatham knocked him out of bounds.
You notice the defensive secondary, number 35, Cheatham, come up there, 6 foot 190 and a junior. He came up because it was a run all the way, and those backs from Auburn will support fast unless Georgia opens up and throws the ball more. They're going to have those backs in their backfield all day long.
James Jackson, the Georgia quarterback, gets second down. And Jackson wants to throw. Rolling right. Floats it down the sideline. Incomplete and nearly intercepted by number 3, Kevin Porter. Let's check in with Tim Brando in the studio.
The Texas Longhorns are back in the Cotton Bowl hunt, and the reason Eric Metcalf, the son of Terry, 57 yards for the touchdown here. It turns out to be the game over at TCU. And all 36 carries, 206 yards. Texas 24, TCU 21. The Longhorns could play A&M on Thanksgiving night for the Cotton Bowl.
Thank you, Tim. Third down and 8 for Georgia here. No score first quarter, 7:07 remaining. Georgia going with the 2 tight ends. Nate Lewis going in motion. The pitch to Lars Tate. 15 out to the 17-yard line.
You might wonder why Tate ran the football down there, because what Georgia wanted to do that time is not make a turnover. Here's Tate, the senior tailback. Gets a toss play made famous by O.J. Simpson with the same number and drives himself forward. That was a good strategy call by Vince Dooley because he did not want to turn the ball over to Auburn in that area.
Fourth down and a yard, and Joey Hester coming in to punt. Averaging just over 36 yards per punt. And back deep is Duke Donaldson for the Auburn Tigers. Hester controlling the high snap. Donaldson takes it on the run at the Georgia 45 and is hit immediately. 6:15 left to play in the opening quarter, and still no score at Georgia.
In this big rivalry.
Outstanding field position for the Tigers at the Georgia 46 to start the drive. Campbell. Just a yard to the 45. Auburn picked up a great deal in field position lead. They were backed up on their own 12. Now they start the drive after the Georgia punt at the 46.
That was their plan, to play good field position until they get an opportunity to let it open up. Now, one of the things that Georgia's got to be careful about is that Auburn will run a lot of the clock here because they've got a good balanced attack. And if you do that, you don't get the ball very much. It'll be the second quarter.
Donaldson and Tillman are wideouts. Berger throwing, and it's Donaldson at the 40. Gets the first down and out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Berger is now 3 for 5 in throwing the football in this game. And Pat Dye was telling us yesterday about what a great practice Berger had on Thursday.
Berger's an outstanding quarterback, and as I said at the top of the show, when he's hot, they're almost impossible to stop. The one thing you like about here is he throws the ball off his front foot with the pressure from the defensive lineman 97 in his face. Giles. Berger is the key to the Auburn attack. Watch him.
He threw 55 passes in practice Thursday, hit 54 of them, and the one miss was a drop. Here's Donaldson at the 30, and out of bounds at the Georgia 24. Berger throws it left, and Berger throws it right with the same results.
The one thing you like about Berger is getting good protection also. Number 63, Eric Floyd, in the left tackle, is making a good job, good protection on our star of the pregame show, 92 targets. He can't get by him because the big guy, 6'5", 270 Floyd, has got perfect body position on targets number 92.
Auburn picking up its 5th first down of the quarter. 5 minutes remaining. No Donaldson had an incomplete. Duke Donaldson getting a workout here in the last 3 plays.
One thing about the Auburn attack so far is it's featured everybody. The tailback, the fullback, and both wideouts, and to the tight end. That's the secret to a good offensive team, as Coach Pat Dye knows. Coach Pat Dye is one of the most disciplined football coaches in the country, and he also serves as the athletic director of a great athletic program at Auburn.
It's amazing, too, the way Pat has changed his offense. Of course, so dominating was the Auburn running game in past years. Now they're able to throw it as well as run it. Berger on second down. Danley was tripped up and stretches out to the 21-yard line.
That was a nice little draw play that time. Auburn has been throwing the football a lot. This time they come back to pass the ball, but they slip it to number 32, Danley, who gets a pretty good block on the left side by Stacy Dunn, number 79, and he goes forward. 3rd down, 7. One of the things important here for the Auburn team early in this game, don't turn it over. If nothing else, we'll get 3 with a field goal after this play.
Auburn has been much better than that in the first quarter today. Let's see if they can convert this one. Berger under pressure, throws into the end zone, complete, touchdown, Lawyer Tillman. And the Auburn Tigers take the lead.
At the top of the show, we talked about Berger, we talked about Tillman, and here they come into play. Good pass protection. Watch Tillman as he goes down the field. He fakes to the inside, and he breaks a post route to the right-hand corner. Number 20, Beasley gets there late with number 2, Smith, and he just out-jumps him. Great athletic play by a surefire All-American, Lawyer Tillman.
Lynn Lyle adds the extra point. 6 foot 4 inch Lawyer Tillman brings it down to give Auburn the lead.
These days, people talk a lot about truth in labeling.
Auburn leading Georgia 7-0. Chris Johnson preparing to kick it away. 24, Cassius Osborne on the far side. And on the near side, number 7, Rodney Hampton set to return for Georgia. And Johnson's kick sailing Hampton's way at the 5. 15, 20, cuts back, 30, breaks a tackle, 37-yard line on the return for Georgia. Auburn, excuse me, Link.
Jeff Berger, number 12, the quarterback, will roll out to his left. He gets a lot of pressure from number 42, Brantley, the middle linebacker right here, but he stays in there under the face of a lot of pressure and throws the ball beautifully to Tillman, number 85. Tillman will cut down, take it to his right, and run a quick out post, and he beats number 2, Smith, and number 20, Beasley, to the corner, and then he just gets great jumping ability. Tremendous play by Berger and Tillman.
21-yard pass to that man, Lawyer Tillman, completes a 46-yard drive. Georgia with it. Jackson to throw. And it's complete at the 50-yard line. Cassius Osborne making the grab. So James Jackson hits a pass, and Georgia's got it into Auburn territory.
And a nice call from the Georgia bench. It was a fake run, and 1st and 10, they have a tendency to run the football. They faked the run and had a nice little bootleg with number 24, Osborne, coming across. Georgia's got to do more of that to soften up the great Auburn defense.
That was a 16-yard pass play for James Jackson. 1st and 10 from the Auburn 48. The pitch goes to Rodney Hampton. He is hit and taken down back at the 48-yard line. Tremendous play by free safety, number 35, Carlo Cheatham, the junior from Sheffield, Alabama.
And you called it right, the free safety 35. Nice toss play to Hampton to the outside. But here comes 35 to the top of your picture and makes the play right there with a good solid tackle. Remember, I said before, if 35, Cheatham, and 45, Staples are up there too fast, that means that Georgia's got to throw the football a bit more to loosen those guys up.
Elsewhere, NC State leading in that ACC battle. Ohio State hanging on in the 4th quarter. Georgia has it 2nd down and 10. Hampton to the 45. 4 scores in college football today. It's 7-0 here. Auburn leading. There's that Ohio State score over Iowa in the 4th. Purdue 5 up on Northwestern also in the 4th quarter. Kansas State is winning, as is Wyoming, the Western Athletic Conference leaders. It's 3rd down and 7 for Georgia at the Auburn 45. Jackson cuts it back in. 35, loses the football. And we'll wait for the officials to indicate it is Auburn football. Recovering is Kurt Crane.
Number 14, Jackson, rolls to the outside, and Auburn's got excellent coverage on him. They make him turn it to the inside. Number 90, Smith, makes him go to the inside, but now he's not tucking the ball away. See him running with the ball free right there in its strip? Boy, Coach Dooley is on him right now on the sideline. Tell him, put that ball away when you take a run like that.
Kurt Crane with the fumble recovery, and that is another turnover that Auburn has gained. A whopping 34 turnovers in their favor. Now the Tiger offense has it 1st and 10 from its own 25-yard line, leading Georgia 7-0.
One thing about Berger, the way he came on the field, he knows he's hot. He ran on the field like, give me the ball, I can't wait to start playing. And boy, that's bad news for Georgia if he gets hot, because he's a dynamite football player, and the leader, number 12, is of the offense of Auburn.
Bad die. Only Georgia has won more than Auburn in the SEC in the die years at Auburn. And the Tigers trying to make it 3 straight wins between the hedges. The pitch to Danny. He picks up 5 to the 30.
Number 60, Stacy Searles, is the offensive right tackle, number 60. He comes out, gets a good block on 99 McClellan, and stays with him. The reason why that play was so good is that he stayed on his feet and did not go to his late knees. He's 6'6", 270, a senior, a first-team All-SEC in 1986.
Searles has cleared the way for Danley to rush the ball 8 times for 26 yards. And Danley gets it again. Nice move. To the 39.
The offensive line from Auburn is starting to eat up the defensive line from Georgia. Now, number 20, Peasley, will come up and make a good block, a good tackle on this play, but by the time he gets to number 20, Georgia's in trouble. Number 20, the free safety, comes up and makes a good tackle, but you gotta love the way that Danley dropped that shoulder and punished number 20, Peasley, for coming up and hitting him.
Danley has gone out of the game, and another freshman, Harry Mose, has come in at the tailback spot. You see Harry getting lined up in a wing left. Reggie Ware is the fullback, and Duke Donaldson in motion. Berger over the middle, and it's complete to the tight end, Walter Reeves.
The offensive line of Hudson 66, Dunn 79, and 76 Garner are giving Berger tremendous protection. As you're watching this replay, watch the interior linemen all come up. They all got their hands out in good position. Just enough time. Number 57, Jones, comes over and picks up the leaking rusher. Reeves is wide open in the middle. Auburn is on the move again.
Nearing the end of the opening quarter. Ware runs into his own man, but he's so powerful, able to carry a couple of tacklers over the 50 to the Georgia 49. The Auburn Tigers, you wouldn't know it by the look on the bench, but they're leading in this game, 7-0.
Auburn looks like they're on a mission. They don't look like the same football team we saw in the films against Florida State. The line is coming out. Berger's got the confidence. They look like they're coming here to really stick it to Georgia and beat them at their own game, man on man up front.
Only 4 seconds remain. The clock is running here in the quarter, and the period expires. That is the end of the first quarter in Athens, Georgia, and visiting Auburn, leading the Bulldogs 7-0. First things first, Auburn. They've got the football first at 10, and Berger under pressure and drops at his own 49. For Georgia, Pressure that time from Richard Tardis. Auburn lead dominated that first period in time of possession.
Most of those came on big plays from Berger. He came up with a big play. Now, this is one of the things I wanted to show you. Auburn is a tremendous coming out of the box team. What that means is two things. One, they get an excellent game plan, and they know how to attack the other team. And number two, they got confidence in their offense starting in the first quarter because the coaches give them a great game plan, and they execute it perfectly.
On the draw, Danley to the 44-yard line of Georgia. Lee, I'm so impressed with this Auburn football team and the freshman talent that's on hand.
They got good talent all the way through the line. Now, number 52 pulls, that's Johnson. He gets a good trap, but one of the things that impresses me is when Danley hits this man, number 91, as you watch, number 32, when he gets run into by number 91, Dotson, he runs right through Dotson, who's much bigger than him. That means that the Auburn football team is ready to play.
Luke Donaldson goes wide to the right. Scott Bolton to the near side. Third down and 6. Danley to the 41. And stacked up there. Auburn needs to penetrate the 39 for the first down. Will Jones credited with a tackle. Scores that affect the Rose Bowl picture. UCLA just 2 over Washington. Southern Cal and Arizona, no score in the early going. And as far as the Big Ten is concerned, Michigan State leading Indiana.
This is an interesting bit of strategy here. Pat Dye had 4th down and 1 on his own on the Georgia 40 punting. The reason why he's doing that, his defense is playing so well, he wants to back them up. It's more important than making a first down for him at this time.
Ryan Shulman handles the low snap. Mark Bowen will allow the football to hit. It gets a Georgia bounce. Auburn quickly to cover as the football comes back at them to the 25. A 16-yard punt for Brian Shulman.
Becoming an American.
Leading Georgia 7-0. Georgia starting out 1st and 10 at its own 24-yard line. Jackson trying to throw, but under big pressure from Quentin Riggins, the linebacker.
An interesting piece of strategy that time. Number 41, another linebacker come in. Georgia is doing so much running that Auburn put in number 41, an extra linebacker. He blitzes in the middle. Jackson, number 14, can't get away from him, and Riggins makes the tackle. Interesting. They took out a defensive back on first down, and in place, number 41, Riggins in his place.
So Riggins goes right back out of the game after the sack, and now it's going to be 2nd down and 19 yards for Georgia. Lewis lines up in a wing left. The freshman backfield, and Rodney Hampton, the ball carrier. Breaks a tackle. Moves it out to the 24-yard line. Auburn leading Georgia here, 7-0 at Sanford Stadium. And Lee Corso, we could not have asked for better weather this Saturday afternoon for this key game.
For a better game. And let me tell you something. Outside on the bridge out there, there's more people that sometimes go to games at other people's stadiums trying to get in here. Perfect weather, no excuse game, though. Coach can't have any excuse in this one. You either win or lose it on the field.
3rd and 10. Jackson, quarterback draw, 35, out to the 39-yard line, and that's going to be a Georgia first down. Jackson, a little slow in getting to his feet. He's shaken up.
This is what Vince Dooley was most concerned about. Jackson scrambling and then getting hit because he's not big. But one thing, notice the way he tucked the ball away this time, ladies and gentlemen. He listened to Coach Dooley on the sideline. But he got hit from behind, and now they're going to have to bring in Johnson, number 18, who's much bigger and stronger than Jackson.
Now, the quarterback will run, and Wayne Johnson gets it over the 40 and up to the 43. Not a long look that time before Johnson decided to take it himself.
Johnson is not a young player. He's 6'4", 213, and a junior. He beat Auburn last year over at Auburn with a great effort. So he's a good quarterback, and Coach Dooley's got a lot of confidence in his ability.
In that game, Johnson with a touchdown pass, and he also ran for a touchdown as the Dogs won 22. Higgins was there.
Number 41, Higgins is a major tackle on Johnson.
Auburn's putting a lot of pressure on him. Number 92, Starwood, and number 96, Rowland, run a little stunt in there. And 94, Ogletree puts the pressure on him. What they're doing right now is they're doing a lot of stunning, which means one lineman will go one way and the other lineman will go the other way, and confusing the Georgia offensive line. But they'll get that thing straightened out in about 3 minutes.
Duke Donaldson to receive the Joey Hester punt. High snap from Mark Lewis. Donaldson fair catching at the 23. 8:56 to play, second quarter, still 7-0. On 23-yard line. Donaldson and Bolton, the wideouts. And I-backs behind Jeff Berger. Bolton in motion. Hanley taken down a fine tackle at the 25-yard line. Coming up tomorrow on ESPN, a big day of NFL football. We kick things off with Game Day at 11:30 Eastern Time. Then NFL Prime Time with the day's finest recap anywhere at 7 Eastern Time. And then the Raiders and the Chargers at 8 p.m. tomorrow on ESPN. Danley, the Auburn tailback, has rushed the ball 12 times for 47 yards. Berger looking to throw. Zips to the sideline, and it is going to be incomplete. Bidding for the interception for Georgia, Will Jones, the Roverback. You recall he tipped that pass earlier in the first quarter.
Good call, Bob, because that's the same defensive coverage they had. They had a bootleg action this time, and they're double covering Lawyer Tillman, number 85. He rolls to his left, he throws, but Jones has got the short coverage, and he does a good job of almost intercepting it. Remember, he's got to have that ball like a pass receiver and control it before it goes out of bounds to be a pass interception.
Well, Lawyer Tillman's a marked man.
Great player.
Third down and long. Berger has all day to throw. Incomplete at the 42. And unable to hang on was Scott Bolton, number 24.
Bolton missed this ball because he didn't catch it in his hands. Berger is right on target. He gets good pass protection by the Gardner, number 76. Now watch. He tries to catch the ball with his belly and not with his hands. You've got to reach out and catch that ball with your hands. It bounced right off his shoulder pads.
Men bring it in.
Yes, sir.
Here's the punt by Brian Shulman. Nate Lewis is back for Georgia and makes the grab at the 25. Can't go nowhere. There's the timing on the field. Auburn leading Georgia 7-0. The Georgia defense goes to the classroom on the sidelines. Johnson in at quarterback for the injured Jackson for Georgia. And Johnson at the 25, 30 to the 32. Both quarterbacks, Jackson and Wayne Johnson, run the ball very well. Elsewhere in college football, what a shootout in Durham. Duke 45, NC State 44. Iowa with a win over Ohio State, 29-27. Second down and 2. Long snap down to Wayne Johnson. Lars Tate finds a hole, gets the first down at the 35. As you can well imagine, Lee Corso, a lot of Bowl Scouts in attendance at this big game.
These teams always go to bowl games. They're always in that bowl game. Auburn has appeared in 5 straight bowl games and won 3 or 4 of the last 5. Last year, Auburn went to the Citrus Bowl, and Georgia went to the Hall of Fame Bowl. Had great games in both of those appearances.
Georgia will be going to its 8th straight bowl game. Tight end Kirk Warner lining up on the right side. They fake it to Tate. Pass is batted down. It's received by a lineman, number 68, Tim Stevens. The Georgia coaches told us he could do it all, but I don't think they had catching passes in mind. There is a penalty flag.
Now, if this officials will be a rollout. Remember, once the ball is deflected, the rule is anybody can catch the football and advance it. That's a correct call. Auburn touched the ball. Stevens, number 20, 68, caught it. Now watch. 92 gets his hand on the ball. It is now a free ball. Now number 68, Stevens, gets it and advances it, put it on his record for 1 catch, 7 yards reception.
And the officials knew it was a legal play. They picked up the flag and put it back in their pocket. It's first down and 10. Johnson, hands off, and it's going to be the fullback, Alfonso Ellis. And he'll take it over the 45 to the Georgia 46. 7-0 Auburn, 6:15 to play here in the second quarter.
Now, number 68, the middle of the deep offensive line is doing a good job of blocking on there, but what happens is they leak too fast to the outside, and in comes 94. Ogletree makes the tackle on Ellis.
Johnson on the play at the line. Lars Tate steps over a couple of his own men and takes it into Auburn territory at the 49. That is the 6th time that Lars Tate has rushed the ball today. Picks up 4 to give him 28 for the day.
They got Lars Tate in there now because he's a bigger, stronger running back than Hampton. And Vince Dooley knows right now he's playing against one of the better Auburn teams that he's played against. But it's like a chess match. He makes a move, Guy makes a move, Dooley makes a move. What a great coaching game this is.
Ryan Cleveland in at fullback. The fake to Tate. Johnson airs it out. It's complete to Hampton. A check it to Lewis, and Lewis takes it down to the 23-yard line.
The offensive line gave him great protection that time. He faked to Lars Tate on the replay. You'll see he fakes the Tate and freezes everybody. Watch. The lineman make it look like a run. Number 63, Reeler, gets a good block, a good fake to Tate. But then, ladies and gentlemen, this is a shot. He throws that ball right on the line to number 8, Lewis, and gets a big first down. If he hits another 1 or 2 of those, watch out. The Bulldogs are on their way.
Down to the Auburn 23 after a 26-yard pass play. Lars Tate to the outside. Tried to cut back, and his feet went out from under him. Then he was knocked down by number 93, Andre Bruce.
Bruce is a dominant player. Dominant, 6'6", 236. He was the most valuable player in the 1986 Citrus Bowl against Southern Cal last week. He can really play. Montgomery, Alabama.
He's got 7 sacks to lead the team. Had 3 interceptions in one game against Georgia Tech earlier this year, and a miracle Auburn rally. The pitch to Tate. To the 20. Let's check on what's going on elsewhere. Here's Tim Brando. Tim?
A non-conference conference game, if you will, for Alabama, gentlemen, against Notre Dame. The Irish up by 2 touchdowns, and Rice looks long for guess who? Tim Brown. Another catch for the Downtown Athletic Club. That leads to a field goal to make it 23-6. Right now, the Fighting Irish over the Crimson Tide of Bill Curry.
And, of course, Tim will be coming up at halftime, gathering his notes, all the scores and highlights. Georgia driving. Johnson bottled up and knocked down at the 22. It looked, Lee, like there may have been a mix-up back there.
It looked like it, but it was a quarterback draw. They love this play because it gives the impression that they're going to throw the ball, but those good runners will come up in the middle and block. As you watch Johnson, he comes back, he's going to throw. He wants to fake a little draw play and go up the middle. Number 93, Bruce, is there. But if they could get 3 points here, it's only 7-3. They've taken Auburn's best shot, and they're back in the ball game.
Steve Crumley to attempt a 38-yard field goal. And the kick is good. Steve Crumley with his 14th field goal in 16 tries. And Georgia is on the board.
Probably that's an important kick because it gets Georgia on the scoreboard. It's only 7-3. Now, you tell me if Vince Dooley makes it. Do you make it, Vince? Yeah, had it all the way. Had it all the way.
So Dooley's Dogs now are 4 points in arrears. 7-3 is our score. 3 minutes and a second to play in the second period.
There's one thing about Vince Dooley I'd like to add right here is the athletic director who's got an outstanding record. The Georgia's men and women's athletic programs combined have been the most successful in the SEC 5 of the past 7 years. Great football coach and an excellent athletic director.
Coming up next, we'll have the Penn State Nittany Lions, rated number 16 against the Pitt Panthers. 7:30 Eastern Time on ESPN. Jim Kelly, Kevin Kiley to bring you the action from Pitt Stadium. Auburn 7, Georgia 3 here in Athens. 3:01 to play, second period. Georgia set to kick it away. John Casey will be the man to boot it deep. And at the 2, it is Bolton. 15. Over the 20 and out to the 22. So the Auburn Tigers will have it first down and 10 from that spot. Jeff Berger talking to Pat Sullivan, not coming into the game. Pat Sullivan has sure made a difference for this young man.
Absolutely, and there's been 2 Auburn Heisman Trophy winners. One of them, 1971 Pat Sullivan, 1985 Bo Jackson. But Sullivan and Berger have been a dynamite combination.
7-3 Auburn. First down and 10. And now there's some confusion, and Auburn has taken a timeout. Timeout on the field. Berger back to the bench, and we'll come right back. Georgia 3, the Tigers have it. First down and 10 from their own 22, and Jeff Berger going to work. Floats it out to Danley. At the 25-yard line. Terry Webster, the weak side linebacker, came over to make the tackle for Georgia as Danley showing us his talents as both a running back and a receiver.
Terry Webster is from Haines City, Florida. He's had 106 tackles this fall. While he was in Florida, he was the state shot put champion. An outstanding athlete right there, number 60, Terry Webster.
This time Auburn brings Bolton and Donaldson as wideouts to the near side on second down and 7. Lawyer Tillman to the right. Again, they swing it to Danley. Over the 30 and jumps for the first down out to the 34.
2 interesting calls. In this replay, you're going to see a little flare pass. The reason why this flare pass is called is that Berger could get the ball to Danley. Danley can get the first down. If he doesn't get the first down, he can run out of bounds because there's only 2 minutes and 8 seconds to go. But there's a lot of hitting on this game, folks. And watch out. They'll hit you. Your own man will hit you. So it's a game of survival of the fittest.
Boy, if that isn't the biggest signature statement of the SEC. They come to play defense in this league. Here's a pass to the tight end, Reeves. And Reeves is out of bounds, stopping the clock with 1:47 to go in the half. Mike Brown ran him out of bounds.
Terrific drive by all of them. There's Pat Sullivan in the orange sweater, giving the play to Berger, number 12. He hit Reeves coming across the middle so that Reeves could go to the sideline and step out of bounds and stop the clock. Terrific call that time by the Auburn bench.
A 13-yard pass play pickup for Jeff Berger. First down and 10 from the Auburn 46. Tipped, incomplete. The intended receiver out of the backfield, Stacy Danley.
On the sideline, you see Pat Sullivan. The reason why he has an orange sweater on or a jacket is that so Berger could see him easy. There's nothing but white and blue and one orange. And now he's signaling in the Berger right now. Do whatever you want to do, and if it looks good, I'll take credit for it. That was the signal. Now, Pat Dye is telling him what he wants on the next play. The head coach is always 2 plays ahead of all the assistants.
Berger, 9 for 15 for 86 yards in passing. Second and 10. Donaldson spins away from his man, jumps out of bounds to stop the clock with 1:33 to go in the half.
That's so important. It's so important because number 29, Donaldson, got out of bounds. A good play. Watch, Berger will come back, set his feet. Really good. It's hard to throw to the left as a right-handed quarterback, but he hits Donaldson. Now, 54, Guthrie misses the tackle right there and allows Donaldson not only to get an extra yard or 2, but get out of bounds and stop the clock, which is most important in a big drive like this.
Donaldson and Wright are the wide receivers. Tillman out of the game for the moment. The give is to the fullback, Reggie Ware. And he'll pound it down to the 42.
Reggie Ware is such a big, strong runner. He's going over number 76, Rodney Garter, the right tackle, who's 260 pounds. Watch him. They gave him the ball, and he banged right through Brantley for a first down. The reason why they ran that play, it was third down and short yardage, and they needed a first down to keep this drive going.
Donaldson wide right, Lawyer Tillman back in the game wide left. Mose is the tailback with Ware. Complete. Reeves. Penalty flags are down. Up to the 32-yard line. 1:05 to go in the half. But a penalty to be decided, and that flag, Lee, was thrown back at the 49-yard line.
Well, it was thrown where the linemen are, so it looks like it's an offensive holding by the Auburn team.
Dick Burleson.
Holding on the offense.
The offensive line is isolated. Take a look at number 76. I believe he calls it on him right there, grabbing a hold of 97 Giles and keeping him out of the play. A nice play, but what he did is he had his hands out in front. Now watch 76. He's trying to hold on to him. 60's got a piece of him too, but let me tell you something. The one thing about holding is you never hold with your arms out wide. You always hold them in close by the numbers so they can't see you.
Bad dies. Auburn Tigers now backed up. First down and 20. Back at the 48. Berger has time, and he gets it to Danley, and Danley down to the Georgia 38. Nice catch by the redshirt freshman from Winston, Georgia.
Danley right now come out of the backfield with a nice little catch, but Berger right now is calling all the plays in the line of scrimmage. If you watch him, he's setting his team up, he's giving them hand signals, and he's calling the plays with no huddle. 35 seconds remaining in the half. Berger tossing complete to Duke Donaldson. He's down at the 33. Clock is stopped as the officials have to set the chains. Auburn's doing a smart thing. They're taking everybody and driving them deep, but they're bringing one guy, this time number 29, Donaldson, short. They've always got somebody coming underneath, so if the deep man is covered, they can always dump it off to the short receiver.
There has been a timeout called. Coming up at halftime, Tim Brando with all the scores and highlights. He'll bring you up to date on the bowl situation as it continues to change almost minute by minute. 1 week from today, those bowl bids go out. Timmy's got all the scores coming up at halftime.
What's going on the sideline right now, Pat Sullivan is talking to Berger, and Pat Dye is listening, and then he will say something every once in a while. Right there, he's telling him exactly what he wants. They're looking up at the clock. 28 seconds, one timeout left. If the ball is completed in the middle of the field, call a timeout, and we'll kick a field goal. If the ball is on the outside, don't worry, we'll run out of bounds. Vince Dooley is trying to get out of here 7-3 because he's taken Auburn's best shot, and he's only 4 behind.
Jeff Berger has had an outstanding half throwing the football, 12 for 18 for 114 yards. Third down and 1 from the Georgia 33. Ware picks up the first down to the 31. 24 seconds left in the half.
Okay, what they did that time is run the fullback to get a first down, and then they call their timeout, which is the last timeout they've got right now.
Now Berger goes to work.
Sullivan is telling him right now, look, we're going to the 2-minute drill, which means if you complete a pass, step up and throw it out of bounds to stop the clock. We do not want to have an interception. We'll take 3, so we have a 10-3 lead at halftime.
24 seconds remain. Vince Dooley in a must-win situation today as far as the SEC title is concerned.
One of the things you want to keep your eyes on right now is number 85 deep in one of the corners, because remember, if they send 85 deep in a corner, they might get a pass interception, or he might just out-jump everybody, and it looks like a great pass, but it's a touchdown.
Lawyer Tillman out-jumped everybody to get that touchdown pass in the first quarter. He's 6'4", and he can use that frame and those amazing hands of his. I love the line by Coach Dye about Lawyer Tillman, Lee. He said that Lawyer Tillman's got suction cups on his fingers.
Watch him in the right-hand corner.
Berger. Johnson out of bounds with 19 seconds to go in the half.
They're double teaming Tardis, number 96, so they can't get in. But let me tell you something on this play. It's good pass protection, but this was a great play by everybody involved in the Auburn line. 54, Thompson just runs into the outside. 36, Ware gets a good block. There was two guys in the top of your picture. There was two guys on number 85, Tillman, and left Donaldson wide open. But watch Tillman in the left-hand corner or Donaldson on the sideline.
Time remaining in the first half. Berger has time. The sideline, Donaldson out of bounds with 12 seconds to go in the half.
Okay, same play. What they do is they're sending Tillman down about 15 yards and breaking him to the touchdown to the corner, and then what they're sending Donaldson out about 12 yards to the flat. Now watch the left side of your picture. You'll see in the top of your picture number 85 Tillman. He's a decoy out there, and if they double cover him, the number 29 Donaldson is open. That is one of the best theories I've ever seen in a 2-minute drill, and they're working it to perfection.
First and 10, Auburn at the 17. 12 seconds with which to work for Jeff Berger and company. They throw it up for Donaldson. Incomplete and no penalty flags.
What everybody's yelling about, they wanted an offensive pass interference call on number 25 Donaldson, but they didn't get it this time. On the replay, here comes Tardis trying to come in there, and number 54, Guthrie, comes in and hits the quarterback, but Auburn did a nice job. They did not give the ball up, and they're trying to go in 10-3, as we talked about 3 seconds ago.
Lynn Lyle puts it down at the 24. This will be a 34-yard attempt for the Auburn place kicker. Flags, Georgia jumps. The kick is good. With 3 seconds left in the half. And they will decline the penalty. The old coaching axiom, don't take those points off the scoreboard.
Not if you're Pat Dye and you're in a struggle and you're away from home. That was a great drive right there. He will not take the play. I'll tell you what, that was one of the finest 2-minute drills that I've seen in action this year live in a big game.
Lee, Auburn had it at their own 22 with 2:53 to go in the period. 2 minutes and 50 seconds later, Lynn Lyle kicks a 34-yard field goal, and Auburn leads by 7.
The reason it made it such a great drive is that Berger was almost perfect in his play calling and his selection. He was sending the man number deep, Wyatt to the corner, and he was sending Donaldson short. Pat Dye has got to be excited because team took back the momentum.
Lynn Lyle, not only an outstanding kicker who walked onto the Auburn team, he's our student of the game with a 3.2 grade point average in pre-med.
You know, it's really interesting, but here's a game 7-3, 7-3, and all of a sudden you get 3 points and you feel like Auburn has taken over the game, again, just before halftime. Psychologically, a big field goal for the Auburn Tigers.
Chris Johnson to kick it off for Auburn. Osborne and Hampton are deep. What's the strategy here for Auburn with 3 seconds left on the kickoff?
Squib the ball, because remember now, the rule is this. The clock does not start until one of the Georgia men catches it and starts running. In fact, some of the times teams teach the Georgia receivers to just fall on their knee so they can get up and throw the Hail Mary pass instead of trying to run it back. Just stay right there.
20, 30. Is over, and Georgia can only run it out to a 33. Between the hedges in Athens, Georgia, the homestanding Bulldogs are trailing as they head to the locker room. It's Auburn 10 and Georgia 3 at the half here in this SEC showdown game. Now let's check in the studio and our man Tim Branton.
All right, Bob Rathman and Lee Corso, thank you very much. That means ever so much in the bowl picture. Auburn with the lead right now. Speaking of the bowl picture, today's winner could perhaps be taking on the Syracuse Orangemen in the Sugar Bowl. The drama under the dome. We're going to talk about that here at halftime. And a rough...
This man that is kicking off for the Georgia Bulldogs. 10-3 Auburn as we start the third quarter. Kick comes down to Harry Mose. 15, 20. Mose trying to get to the outside 25. And he is hit and taken down at the 32. Auburn leading 10-3. And here's a look at their possessions in the first half of play. They really dominated possession time in the first quarter. They kept it away almost 12 minutes to 3 minutes for the Georgia Bulldogs. The touchdown pass to Lawyer Tillman there. A couple of punts. And then the field goal by Win Lyon. Jeff Berger at quarterback. Duke Donaldson is in the game along with Lawyer Tillman and Walter Reeves as the ends. Danley and Ware are the setbacks. Berger throws. Donaldson catches at the 30, out to the 34. Lead with 82,000 on hand here at Sanford Stadium. They haven't had a lot to cheer about today. Auburn has led throughout, but I got to believe that's going to be a big factor later in this game.
Absolutely. One of the key statistics we'll show you later on is that Georgia has scored 91 points in the fourth quarter and completely dominate their opponents. Stay on, folks. It'll be a great game.
Some movement in the line and penalty flags go flying. Second down and 7 for Auburn. Georgia seems to think the movement came first from Auburn. Our referee today is Dick Burleson.
Dead ball foul. False start. Offense. Repeat the down. Once an offensive lineman puts his hands down, he cannot move. Number 60, Searles, moved his right hand. 5-yard penalty, and it got the crowd into the game.
Hand off to Danley. Danley is finally taken down as he got back to the original line of scrimmage, which was the 32. And a penalty flag is down. Well, they've got to straighten this one out. Jeff Berger talking to referee Dick Burleson there.
Grabbing the face mask, 5-yard penalty, repeat the down. 5 yards means we didn't do it on purpose. It was inadvertent. Remember, we had a 15-yard penalty before. There's Stacy Searles, number 60, isolated. He runs smack into number 29, and right there's the face mask for 5 yards. Remember, the 2 face mask penalties can be 5 yards if it's not done on purpose, and 15 yards if it's done with intention.
Auburn 10, Georgia 3. Second down and 6. Tillman in motion. Ware stacked up. It'll be third down and about 3 for the Auburn Tigers.
It's an old coaching saying, but it's really true. The first 2 series, offense and defense in the second half, usually determine who takes over. And right now, it's third down and 3. And if Georgia can stop them right here, this place is going to go crazy. And there's Jackson getting ready to come back in if and when the Bulldogs stop him.
He injured his knee in the first half. 2 tight ends for Auburn, Reeves and Sellers. Ware is the short yardage man, the fullback. Berger fakes it to him, throws. It's complete. The catch made by Harry Mose, and he's off to the races. Mose to the 25. Mose to the 10. Brought down from behind at the 5. And a magnificent play call for the Auburn Tigers.
What a call. What a call. The reason it's a great call is they've been giving it to Ware every single time on third short. Now watch the fake. Berger to Ware. Look at that fake. 36 has got it. Oh, no, he doesn't. And all of a sudden, Berger throws the ball out in the flat to Mose, who breaks the tackle by number 20, Beasley, and he goes down the field. That particular call could have won the SEC championship for the Auburn Tigers.
Oh, the Auburn fans are wild about Harry. A 55-yard catch and run. Danley to the 4. Danley picks up 3 more. Stacey Danley's been the leading rusher in this game. He's got 54 yards for the Tigers today.
It's very, very important that Auburn jump ahead 17-3 because Georgia has a running team and not a great passing team. It takes them longer to catch up, and that's what Pat Dye tell them. We've got to get 7, but make sure we get at least 3.
Second down. And goal for the Tigers. Tillman in motion. Berger handing it off this time. And Reggie Ware's stopped. It's going to be 3rd and goal.
The Georgia defensive line is really playing hard now. They're submarine, which means they come under real low and make the tailback and fullback break to his outside. Now watch the linemen. They're all standing them up right there. 99 McClendon stuck up the group right there. Number 36 Ware's on the bottom. Now,
we got an injury, Coach. Searles is going out of the game up front for Auburn. Jim Thompson is in to take his spot. Searles limping off, one of the key linemen in the country, and now Jeff Berger going to the sideline. There's Stacy Searles, number 60, the junior from Tryon, Georgia. Down in the field. We'll be right back. On the Auburn 3-yard line. Auburn 3 yards away from scoring. Donaldson in motion. Berger looking. Throws. Touchdown. Duke Donaldson making the grab. A bullet pass from Jeff Berger. His second touchdown pass of the game.
They put Donaldson in motion that time. They used number 85, Tillman, as a decoy. And number 8, and from the end zone, you'll see number 29, Donaldson, come along in motion, and he slips right over the line of scrimmage, right in front of number 60, Webster, and catches the football. The reason that was a great play is all he needed to do was get across the line, and Berger hit him perfect timing for a touchdown.
Quinn Lyle with the extra point kick. And it is good. 11-14 to play in the third. It's Auburn by 2 touchdowns.
Could have been the play to turn this game around.
By Chris Johnson into the waiting arms of Rodney Hampton. Tripped up number 42.
There's Berger. This is what Berger sees from the end zone. This is what the Georgia team sees. Berger drops back. You're watching the bottom of your picture, number 25, the 29 Donaldson slip across the middle and just catch it 1 yard into the end zone. Perfect play. Isolation on Berger. Drops back. Looks. Gets a good block from 66 Hudson. Sets up, throws it, touchdown, he knows it. And watch Pat Dye. He's excited on the sideline also.
And the handoff goes to Lars Tate. James Jackson Lee back in the game at quarterback for the Georgia Bulldogs. Here's a look at what Georgia did with the football in the first half. Their possessions. The Auburn defense forcing punts right away. Then the fumble lost by the quarterback Jackson. 10-play drive resulted in a Steve Crumley field goal for Georgia's only points. Tate to the 31-yard line. Notre Dame has posted a most impressive victory over Alabama. And you folks who are watching that game, welcome to Athens, Georgia. And this SEC matchup, Auburn is leading Georgia 17-3. We have 10 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the opening quarter. Bob Rathman and Lee Corso with you between the hedges as James Jackson sets Georgia down at the line of scrimmage. The fake to take. Jackson loses the football for a second time, and Auburn has recovered. Carlo Cheatham with the mumble recovery. And James Jackson hangs his head.
Makes a good fake here to Tate. You're watching the replay. After the fake to Tate, he rolls out to his left. He's got a naked bootleg. He's holding the ball real well, but remember, he's only 5'11", 175 pounds, and wow, he gets smashed by Staples, and the ball is loose. Coach Dooley was very concerned about the beating that James Jackson took last week against Florida. He thought it might come back to haunt him. It has so far. Auburn's got another chance.
First down and 10 at the Georgia 37. Ganley turns the corner. Good yardage over the 30. Near a first down at the 28. Good block there by Duke Donaldson on the corner.
32, Danley does a nice job of starting to the outside. Now watch 42. That's the best football player that Georgia's got to offer. He can't stop him, and Danley's driving himself up until Beasley makes the tackle. The offensive line from Auburn now is going to try to control the game and get one more, and then force Georgia to come from behind in the fourth quarter.
Donaldson to the right side, and Lawyer Tillman coming in motion. Berger will pitch, and Danley picks up the first down at the 26-yard line. 9 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Auburn leading 17-3.
Here's Danley right, again, the tailback. He gets the cross play. What I like about this play is he cuts it in there right there. Watch his body lean. He's got a good body lean, and he's going for every yard that he can make. Right now, the offensive line from Auburn is beating the defensive line of Georgia to the snap, and that is winning the ball game for the Auburn Tigers.
And that offensive line, Stacy Searles is back in the game, Lee, at that right tackle spot. He walked off with an injury. He's back in the game. Fullback Ware to the 19.
You know, Bob, it's almost unbelievable, but unless you've been a coach, you don't understand this as much as what I understand. You can't believe that a fumble would hurt the defense. But psychologically, as you're looking at scores, psychologically what happens to the defense when they see the offense and turn the ball over like that, they have a tendency to get down. I don't understand why, but it happens almost every time.
Breaks a tackle to the outside, 15. Penalty flags at the 11. A nice job of running the football by redshirt freshman Stacy Danley. And the penalty appears to be going against the Auburn Tigers.
Flipping.
That will take some of the momentum away from Pat Dye's team.
Nice little ball handling here to number 32, Danley. He's carrying the ball in the left hand, which is the proper way so that you can use the right hand to protect it. But right there, we get a clip by one of the outside receivers, and it's a 15-yard penalty. But again, it doesn't make any difference about the penalty as much as Pat Dye knows right now that his offensive line is controlling the line of scrimmage, and that penalty, it doesn't bother him as much.
3 penalties for 30 yards now for the Tigers. There's going to be second down and 14. Berger under pressure. It's complete to the tight end, Walter Reeves. And Reeves is hit immediately and can gain only to the 26-yard line. Walter Reeves, 6'4", from Eufaula, Alabama. Lynn Lyle on the Auburn bench, getting that right leg tuned up. 17-3 Auburn.
If Auburn goes back to what they've done the best, right now this play will feature number 85 Tillman or number 29 Donaldson.
They swing it to Danley. He lunges to the 23, but that's going to be way shy of a first down.
An interesting call, and you'll say, why did they throw that screen pass? Georgia has a tendency to play man-for-man coverage, and that little slip screen would have been perfect. It was safe, so they didn't turn the ball over, so they have at least a chance to kick a field goal here.
Lynn Lyle is the man, and he's coming in to attempt a 40-yarder here out of the Brian Shulman hole. Drive kick is good. Lynn Lyle hitting it on a field goal. And the Auburn Tigers have taken a 20-3 lead over the Georgia Bulldogs.
Attention.
Left to play in the third quarter. The deep men, Cassius Osborne on the left and Rodney Hampton on the right. Auburn leading Georgia 20-3. the 4. 10, 15, looking for a seam, met and dropped to the 17-yard line.
It's a good replay of number 6, Win Lyle. Watch the concentration. The interesting thing here is Brian Schulman, number 1, who's the punter, is the holder. The reason why they have that combination is those two guys have nothing to do in practice except hold for one of the other guys and punt. That's why they use the punter for a holder most of the time.
And Georgia makes a change at quarterback. Junior Wayne Johnson taking over the reins from James Jackson, who has lost 2 fumbles. First and 10 from the 18. Johnson at the 20. He's got some room on the sideline. 30, 35, and up to the 41-yard line. Talk about making something out of nothing, Lee Corso.
He goes to his left on a nice little bootleg action, and everything is covered by the good Auburn defense, and then he kicks off to his right. Now watch. He goes to his left. He wants a tight end, but he's covered. Then he fakes the ball and comes to the right side. But now he's got enough speed to outrun everybody. And 68 Stevens gets a good block. He cuts it back in, and he protects the football. Johnson could be what Georgia needs to catch the Auburn Tigers.
A 21-yard run for the quarterback. First down and 10. The football marked at the 39. Setting up the screen. It's intercepted by Auburn. At the 29-yard line, number 99, Nate Hill. And it looked like he threw it right in his arm.
He didn't see Nate Hill, and I'm surprised he didn't see him. He's 6'5", 266. What happens? He rolls to his left to throw a little screen to number 32. Right there, 66 comes out of nowhere and intercepts it. And I'm telling you what, we had Stevens catch a pass and Hill in interception. This is a game of linemen getting the first time ever things happening for him.
So Auburn starts at the Georgia 29, first and 10, leading 20-3. Here comes the reverse, and it is right at the 20. Right down the sideline, score. Alexander Wright on a 29-yard reverse for the Auburn touchdown.
Can you believe it? Watch it. The cross play. Now he's going to hand it to Wright. Watch the fumble. It fumbles into the air. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, when you're hot, you're hot. They drop the ball, flipped it up. They got a guy, the lineman intercepts a football, and Wright uses his speed, and boy, the Auburn, now they hot now.
Boy, when everything's going right, Win Lyle is on to add the kick, and he does. 5 minutes and 26 seconds remaining in the third quarter. It is all Auburn, 27-3. Comes back to his home state and adds a touchdown and a reverse. And the Auburn Tigers are now dominating the Georgia Bulldogs, 27-3, with 5:26 to play in the third quarter. Johnson. And Hampton at his goal line returns. 20 to the 25.
One of the best things, Bob, to do is after you get a team on the ropes is run a long pass or reverse. Here's Danley handing the ball off, throwing it up in the air. Wright does to get good timing, and he goes 28 yards for a touchdown. When you're hot, everything you do is right. That play basically should have dropped the ball. Now, Berger takes the ball, tosses it out to Danley, who gets everybody chasing him. He drops the ball, flips it up in the air, catches it again, and goes all the way and beats number 42, Brantley, to the corner, and it's touchdown, Alexander Wright.
Now Georgia with the freshman backs of Hampton and Cleveland. It's going to be Johnson looking to pass, but now running, and he's worked from behind by Quentin Riggins. Lee, what can Georgia do against this Auburn team now? They are really in dire straits.
It's 27-3, and what they can't do is panic. They've got to try to get a touchdown here, make it 27-10, and come back in the fourth quarter as you're looking at some scores. One of the problems with Georgia's attack is when they get behind like a wishbone team does, it's hard for them to catch up.
Johnson on second down. Incomplete. I think that was batted away by Kurt Crane. He reached around Troy Sadowski, 87, and I think he got a hand on that ball, Lee.
39, the linebacker, Kurt Crane, is a transfer from Memphis State. Now, 87, Sadowski will go down. He works away from Crane. Crane's got a piece of him by holding on to his jersey and then comes back and strips the ball. Now, if the official would have seen that from the right angle like we did, he'd have called that holding. It would have been a first down for the Georgia Bulldogs.
Instead, it is 3rd and 11. Johnson. Complete. John Thomas breaks a tackle into Auburn territory, and he's out of bounds at the 46-yard line. A big catch for the junior from Milledgeville, Georgia, 31 yards.
Wayne Johnson, number 18, threw a perfect pass that time to Thomas coming across. Coach Dooley's been in many games like this, and he knows it's not over yet. As you see Johnson drop back, he gets good pass protection by all the linemen. 75 Adams gets a good block, but there's a shot right there to Thomas, who gets smart and gets out of bounds. First down, Georgia. They need just to get 10 points before the end of the quarter.
Ryan Cleveland bringing the football ahead for Georgia, a couple of yards to the 43. He's a true freshman from Claremont, Texas, but because of the injury situation, Vince really wanted to redshirt this young man, but he's been forced to use him. He's responded. He played very well against Florida last week and in there in a crucial situation today.
Hampton 7, 37 Cleveland, both freshmen, both players from Texas.
They split the backs. And this time it is going to be Cleveland. Breaks through and gets down to the 37. He escaped a couple of would-be tacklers.
5'10", 190 pounds, and he's powerful. Watch him run to the left, carries the ball in the left hand, which fundamentally is very sound, which means he had good high school coaching. And then he drives right through the defensive man, number 46, Phillips, and makes a good drive. Georgia needs to be patient. They got to get out of this quarter 27-10, and they got a chance to win it in the fourth quarter.
Johnson, just to the 37. Edward Phillips, number 46, and his other inside linebacking partner, Kurt Crane, with the tackle.
No matter if they make this or not, but they cannot punt the ball. They've got to go for fourth down if they don't make this play right here.
There's some long faces on that Georgia bench. They have not led in this game. Auburn piling it on here in the second half, leading 27-3. But as you mentioned, Lee, Vince Dooley has been through these wars. He knows what a quick touchdown can do to turn the emotions of this game around. Big play here, 4th and 1. Lewis in motion. Tate cuts back. He has the first down at the 35.
That's why Vince Dooley loves Tate. He loves him because he's a senior. He knows he'll make the big play. He's got that extra credit and extra power. Watch, number 32 gets a good block there by number 83, Warner. He gets away from number 35, Cheatham, and makes it on his own. I tell you what, half the backs in the Southeastern Conference would have been knocked down for a loss, but Tate made it on sheer determination.
2 minutes and 5 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Johnson. It's complete at the 29-yard line. Lars Tate has it, goes out of bounds to stop the clock with 1:48 to play. Nice grab by Lars Tate on the Wayne Johnson pass.
The thing you got to like about Tate, he makes the 4th down and 1 play, right? He comes through, makes a little fake, and then he makes a good catch right there with his hands. They got good pressure on Johnson, but he reaches out and catches it. That's why the pro scout thinks he's one of the best prospects in the South. His ability to run and also catch.
An 11-yard pickup for Lars Tate. 1st and 10, Georgia. They fake it to Tate. Johnson over the middle. Incomplete. Nearly intercepted in the end zone. Carlo Cheatham nearly picked off the deflected pass in the end zone. He's really kicking himself. He had it right in his hands.
The way things are going for Auburn, he should have intercepted that pass. That time, Johnson throws the ball to number 24, Osborne. He makes a good fake to Tate. He comes back. He drags number 83, the tight end, across. And watch, it deflects right off his hands right here. And, oh, Cheatham almost gets it. Cheatham almost gets it. Now, here's number 93. Gross coming through. He's trying to get in there, but he got a nice little piece of him. And the 68 Stevens grabs him by the face mask.
Second and 10, Georgia. Lars Tate puts his head down and takes it to the 16. Kurt Crane jumped on his back there. A minute 30 to go in the third quarter.
But, Bob, what a tremendous call from the sideline. Pass, pass, pass. All of a sudden, they give the ball to that big tailback who runs a sprint draw, and he gets the extra yardage to put him in a situation where it's 3rd and 2. Remember, it's really only 2nd and 2 because they're going to go for 4th down. No more field goals.
Lars Tate, the tailback. Alfonso Ellis in front of him. Ellis trying to throw a block for him. Tate cutting the corner. He's out of bounds at the 11. So Georgia continues to move the football on the Auburn defense. A minute to go in the period. And there's the big reason why.
Great drive. Good calls from the sideline. Excellent concentration by number 18 there, Johnson, who's used to coming back and beating Auburn. He's not afraid. He'll stay in there. Tate can beat him. Dooley can beat him. It's a great fourth quarter coming up, ladies and gentlemen.
Wide receiver Osborne coming in motion. Johnson's going to run it now. And gets back to the line of scrimmage. Number 99, Nate Hill, who intercepted a pass earlier in this period, making the stop for Auburn. Elsewhere in the Pac-10, Arizona, leading USC, Oregon pasting Washington State. Stanford, a big lead over Oregon State at the half. California, doing a number on Arizona State as Uga looks up. Tate ahead to the 10, Grimes to the 7. Lars Tate, who is in the top 20 in the nation among running backs, and as a senior driven to win this championship.
They like that sprint or draw to the tackle to the left side. Good blocking on a point of attack by number 68 Stevens and 63 Wheeler, and Tate drives it in there. Now, at the end of the fourth quarter, remember, Georgia scored 91 points this year in the fourth quarter. They never give up.
Fourth quarter, look at that. They've outscored their opponents by that margin, and they trail Auburn 27-3. They're going to need some fireworks here in the fourth quarter. They're knocking on the door here. 3rd down and 6 from the Auburn 7. They can get a first down without scoring. Johnson. Now throws. Tipped. Incomplete. Kurt Crane batted the ball away.
Good defensive coverage by Auburn in the end zone. Now it's 4th down, and Coach Dooley will probably go for a touchdown as he's telling the man what he wants done. Now watch. He fakes it to the left and comes back to his right. The tight end is open, but he doesn't see him. Good pursuit there by the Auburn defense. They got him hemmed up. Number 46 Phillips get a piece of the ball. The reason why Coach Dooley is going for this is because even if he doesn't make it, he leaves the ball down there, and maybe his defense can score for him.
Cleveland and Tate. Now they break Lars off out of the eye. Johnson tipped, incomplete. The intended receiver was John Thomas, number 9. Carlo Cheatham helped break it up. So Georgia does not score.
Good call from the sideline because it was a great pattern by number 9 Thomas, but the Auburn team just makes a tremendous defensive play. It's a perfect pass in there. All of a sudden, Cheatham comes out of nowhere and deflects the ball. Now, Auburn is down here with a 27-3 lead. Georgia has to do this to win on the replay. Watch Johnson. Good protection. Throws the ball straight. Good call. Good play. This is what Georgia needs to do to win. They got to score 2 on offense and 1 on defense and come from behind with 3 touchdowns.
Meanwhile, the Auburn Tigers would love to control the football here. They're sitting on a big lead. And Danley is met immediately. Number 42, John Brantley, making the hit. You know, Lee, these Georgia seniors have never won an SEC championship. They're going to make one last stand.
Absolutely. And 42 as a senior from Wildwood, Florida. Watch him step right in there. Boy, that is perfect position. You notice he tucked his butt in there. He came right up, put face to face, and drove him backwards. John Brantley, excellent play.
Second down and 10. Berger throwing from his own end zone. Complete to Donaldson. And he's out of bounds at the 16. Jeff Berger continues to throw to Duke Donaldson. He's caught 9 passes for 65 yards.
The reason he's catching all those passes, he's on the same side with number 85, Tillman, and they're sending Tillman deep, and there's at least 2 guys going with him, and Donaldson is one-on-one in a short flat. That's why Tillman has caught all those passes, because Tillman is such a great player, and he's got 2 guys going with him.
14 minutes remaining in the game. 3rd and 1. Donaldson now in motion. And Danley ahead. It's going to be close. I think he's got the first down, but we'll see. The spot is what is so important here. Danley shaken up, and he really took a shot that time. The timeout is called here by the officials to let the Auburn training staff take a look at Stacy Danley. We'll be back.
An unforgettable dining experience.
In Athens, Georgia, Auburn shy of the first down, so they must punt it. And Brian Shulman will kick it back deep to Nate Lewis. Shulman, the high kick to the 37-yard line. It is taken there by Nate Lewis, and Nate Lewis takes it down to the 41-yard line of Auburn.
On the replay, number 60, Webster will make the tackle, but watch number 29, Will Jones, come in from the outside. Now, Danley runs the ball in the middle. 60, Webster will make the tackle and stop him right here. And now watch Will Jones try to strip the ball. Georgia has got to strip the ball. They've got to score on defense because there's not enough time for their offense to score 3 touchdowns.
47-yard punt, but a 22-yard return for Nate Lewis. That gives Wayne Johnson great field position to work with from the Auburn 40-yard line. 1st and 10. Johnson going deep to the end zone, incomplete. Cassius Osborne was the intended receiver.
Johnson lets it go. We're trying to get to Osborne deep for a touchdown. Remember now, everybody in the stands is yelling it should be pass interference. There can be no pass interference on an uncatchable ball. That ball was nowhere near Osborne, therefore there could be no pass interference.
Alvin Briggs was defending. 2nd down and 10. Thomas and Lewis are the wide receivers to the near side. Johnson needs a block, gets it, cuts back, and gets to the 30-yard line. Another great game coming up next on ESPN. Number 16, Penn State, against the Pitt Panthers. Jim Kelly and Kevin Kiley standing by. 7:30 Eastern time for the kickoff from Pitt Stadium. And then the final game in our tripleheader at 11 p.m. Colorado State meets San Diego State. A first down for the Georgia Dogs. Johnson has rushed the ball 9 times for 32 yards. He picks up a 1st and 10 from the Auburn 30. Now throwing the football, and incomplete, intended for Nate Lewis on the near side. Now let's check in the studio with Tim Brando.
All right, Bob, thank you very much. Let's go out to the Pac-10 where Gary Costin of Arizona gives Dick Tomey a lead over USC. It is now 10-6, the Wildcats beating up on their former coach, Larry Smith. Let's go back between the hedges. Georgia and Auburn, Bob.
Thank you, Mr. Brando. 27-3 Auburn. 12:53 to play in the game. Johnson under pressure, and he's sacked back in the 34. Andre Bruce We mentioned earlier that Andre could make the big play. It took him a while, but he got a key sack.
Well, when you let him just rush the passer, watch out. The pro scouts think he's a great prospect. From the left-hand side of your picture, he'll come around to the outside. He gets by all the defenders and makes a play. He's an All-American high school basketball player and one of the finest all-around athletes in America right there.
Now it is third down for Georgia. 14. Johnson. Grabbed by the shirt. Taken down again at the 40-yard line. This time, number 94, Craig Ogletree, and number 41, Quentin Riggins were there. So again, the Georgia offense stalls.
The 93 Bruce gets a good play. 94 says, I'll do better than that. From the right-hand side of your picture, 92 Stalwart comes to the inside, but watch 94 Ogletree with an outstanding effort. 41 Riggins recovers the ball, and Georgia is in big trouble.
Tonight, Penn State, then that doubleheader next Saturday ought to be a dandy.
Let me tell you something. We saw South Carolina play, and we've seen Clemson. That could be one of the best games of the year. And that's Saturday night.
The fourth Georgia turnover of the game. Quentin Riggins with the fumble recovery, and Auburn has it. Berger is going to throw, and it's going to be complete. And it was Greg Taylor into the game at a wide receiver spot to make the catch.
This is what Pat Dye talked about us yesterday afternoon. He could force Georgia to a passing game he felt like he could win. Look at that statistic, and that's exactly what's happened. Auburn has stopped Georgia's run, made them go to a pass, and look at that record. They can't beat anybody when they have to throw the ball only.
Suck it down for Jeff Berger. And Reggie Ware out to the 50.
Ware, tackled by Bill Goldberg.
On the Georgia sideline, quarterback Wayne Johnson.
49.
And those Georgia turnovers today. 4 turnovers in this game.
At the beginning of the game, Auburn, as I said, looked like they were on a mission. I've seen Auburn play Texas once this year. They didn't look anywhere more intense than they do now. They looked like they came here on a mission to win this game, and they're after this Georgia ball club.
Despite the fact that Auburn is unbeaten in SEC play, they still have to beat Alabama 2 weeks hence. Lawyer Tillman making the catch. And Auburn continues to move the football. It's down to the Georgia 44.
We talked about it. Berger was hot. That Auburn is almost unbeatable. Berger is hot. He's so hot, they got a 27-3 lead, and they're throwing the football, which could then lead to a turnover. But Pat Dye knows that Berger is hot, and he's going to go with the quarterback with the hot hand and keep throwing that football.
Pat Dye, the Georgia graduate, class of '62, has certainly found the secret to winning at his alma mater. A victory today will give Auburn 3 straight wins at Sanford Stadium. Trying to sneak out of there is Harry Mose, and he goes down at the 44-yard line.
I want to say something about Pat Dye while I've got a chance. He's a man of his word. Let me tell you something. Last year, he gave the Citrus Bowl his word that he would take Auburn there. Another bowl came in and offered him more money after that word. You know what he said? No. Now, that's a man of integrity that kept his word right there. Pat Dye and the Citrus Bowl story of last year.
Coach, you mentioned Jeff Berger passing the football. 22 of 28, 2 touchdown passes, 212 yards. With the senior from Cedartown, Georgia. So he comes back to the Peach State and has a big day. Harry Mose back at the line of scrimmage. As we look back on this game, Lee, I think we'll find that 3rd and 1 play to that man, Harry Mose, and he took it 55 yards that got Auburn in a position to score, may very well be the big play of this game.
And I think I said there at that time, that play could have won the SEC championship for him. That was a real gutsy call. It was a perfect call. It worked. It turned the whole game around and could have turned the whole season and taken this Auburn team to the Sugar Bowl.
Auburn at the top of the play was ahead 10-3. They started the second half. Berger has hit 8 passes in a row. This one is going to be intercepted, and Georgia's got it. And picking it off was Vince Guthrie, the outside backer. 8:55 to play. Auburn leading 27-3, but Georgia's got it back.
Number 92, Tardis, the man we featured in the beginning of the show, makes a good pressure, puts a pressure job on Berger, who throws it wild. Now remember, number 54 has got to have at least 1 foot in bounds when he catches it.
How about his back foot?
I don't know. But Georgia's got the football and a chance.
And the backing quarterback is James Jackson. He's going to try to throw. Incomplete. Trying to make the one-handed grab was Troy Sadowski. Ryan Smith that time putting the pressure on the quarterback Jackson.
The problem that Georgia has right now is that everybody in the ballpark knows that they have to throw the football. The defensive backs are playing zone, keeping everything in front of them, and then turning those 5 good defensive linemen on the quarterback without any responsibility except hit number 14.
James Jackson at 162 yards of passing against Auburn here 2 years ago. Throws. It's complete. Rodney Hampton takes it to the 43. Scores and highlights. We check in with Tim Rainbow.
All right, Bob, thank you very much. 4th and goal, and Steve Webster is stuffed at the goal line by the Wildcats, and Arizona preserves its lead over USC that game in the 3rd. Larry Smith can't figure out the problem, and it's now 10-6.
Jackson back to pass. Throwing, and it is going to be incomplete. Intended for Nate Lewis on the near side. 8:21 to play in the 4th quarter. Auburn 27 and Georgia 3.
Georgia's doing exactly what they have to do to get back in the ball game. They're throwing the football, but Vince Dooley's got them throwing the ball smart. They're throwing outside cuts so that when they catch it, they can get out of bounds and stop the clock. They're not only fighting the Auburn team now, they're fighting 8:21 left in the 4th quarter.
Osborne in the slot. Jackson looking under pressure, throws, and a catch by Osborne, and now they say incomplete. Boy, I thought he made that grab before he got knocked out of bounds. Kurt Crane and Carlo Cheatham covering.
Carlo Cheatham, number 35. Keep your eye on number 24 as he goes down and out and up. And Cheatham, number 35, will come right in here and give him a good hard shot. Now, he's got the football. Right now, that should have been a completion because, number 1, he had control of the football. It was knocked out of bounds. Watch. Jackson throws a strike. Osborne's got it. The ball is knocked out of bounds. It should be first down, Georgia, right there. Bad call by the official.
3rd down. Jackson again. This time, incomplete to Lars Tate, diving at the 22. Just about 6 inches too far for Lars Tate out of the backfield.
That play hurt them. The play before that, Coach Dooley's saying right now, that play killed them. Because at least they would have had a first down on the 20 with a chance to win this football game.
27-3 Auburn, and Georgia must punt and David Dukes. They kick it to Duke Donaldson. Donaldson, fair catch at the edge. 7 minutes and 58 seconds remaining in the game at Athens, and Auburn leads 27-3. Georgia, welcome to those of you who are watching the UCLA destruction of Washington, 47-14. It's been all Auburn here today. And now Harry Mose tries to find some running room. And can make it back only to the 8. Where it becomes 2nd down. Here's the storyline for the Dayline of Athens today. Auburn really taking advantage of those Georgia turnovers. You said, Lee, of course, at the start, Berger had to have a hot day, and he's had a hot day.
Berger started off hot. You could tell the way he came on the field the first series. In the second series, in the 3rd series, he couldn't wait to get out there and throw the football. So Pat Sullivan on the left, Pat Dye on the right. Great game plan, but a tremendous play by the entire Auburn team.
Curtis Stewart is in the ballgame at fullback in front of Harry Mose. Auburn has it 2nd down. Berger fakes the pitch. Naked bootleg out to the 15 and out of bounds. 7:05 7:04 to play in the game.
You know, Auburn and Georgia are great football teams. Let me tell you something else about them. The University of Georgia has produced more scholar athletes than any other Southern college or university 30. Auburn's in the top 5 in that category, and look at the titles that Vince Dooley has won. Vince Dooley right now is probably the most respected football coach in the country on and off the field. Runs a classy program, a tremendous man, and a credit to the coaching profession.
Since Vince has been the AD, the University of Georgia has claimed 4 NCAA championships in all sports. Here's a pass incomplete. Mose unable to make the catch.
What has happened to Vince Dooley today is he ran into a good football team who was on a mission. They were determined to beat Georgia, and nothing. Georgia, Vince, the crowd was going to keep them from winning this game.
It's hard to believe, Lee. 82,000 plus here at Sanford Stadium. They were not a factor today. Nate Lewis received the Brian Shulman punt. Lewis at the 48, and Auburn covers it so well. 37-yard punt and just a 1-yard return. Elsewhere, Oklahoma, well, they had a struggle today. They remain unbeaten. I mentioned the UCLA victory over Washington. Syracuse, a big come-from-behind effort to knock off BC. Notre Dame routing Alabama. Clemson, ACC champions with that victory over the Maryland Terrapins. Jackson spinning away. He's got some running room. To the 45, 40, down to the 34-yard line of Auburn. James Jackson's doing what he does best, and that's run the football.
And it's always amazing me, a player like Jackson, who's only 5'11", 175 pounds, will give his body up to the university. Watch this. He avoids number 93, Bruce. He starts running. He's tucked the ball away. He's learned that since the first quarter, and he drives himself forward to make a good game.
Indeed.
Jackson doesn't give up.
17 yards for Jackson, giving him 80 for the game. They're trying to reverse, but Auburn's there. Nate Lewis tried it, but it was Andre Bruce to slam the doors.
Oh, man, what a defensive play by 93 Bruce. They tried to run the option on him because he usually chases the ball down. But this time he's well coached. He stays at home, plays his zone. Watch him break down and make a high tackle in the open field. Can you tell me a better outside linebacker than Bruce? I don't know.
Look at it. Nate Lewis's face is saying, you're not supposed to be standing here. Here's Jackson. Look at the throw, and it's going to be complete. Down to the 11-yard line, and a great grab that time by John Thomas. In a crowd, he made that catch at the knees.
But what a beautiful job of concentration. Jackson, 14, will throw the ball straight as he goes back to his right. Now keep your eye on Lewis, number 8, because the ball is right there low, but he keeps his eye on it with a terrific play, and 45 Staples makes the play. Thomas, number 9.
John Thomas with the grab, a 24-yarder. Jackson to the 3. Kurt Crane making the tackle. Got some help from Quentin Riggins.
Jackson's trying to take him in here. Jackson's going to take him in to get a score. It's going to be 27-10. They're going to have to kick an extra point. An onside kick and get the ball. Now watch, Tate gets a good block right up in here, and then he comes out. Watch him. Boom. He's got a run. He's got a tackle. He's got great play. Tate's an All-American type of football player, and Jackson is an All-American competitor.
4:45 to play. Georgia trying to get it into the end zone. Jackson tries to throw it, and it's incomplete. Jackson, I don't believe Lee could make up his mind.
Well, he made up his mind, but the defense team put so much pressure on him, and he tried to throw the ball to number 47, Randy Jackson, the fullback from Rome, Georgia. Watch. He's rolling out to his left. He's going to run it, but all of a sudden, they put a lot of pressure on him. Number 46, Phillips, is in there. He tries to get the ball to Randy Jackson, but doesn't quite make it. But they'll go for 2 more and then try to kick an onside kick. Lewis goes wide to the left, 2 tight ends.
Jackson keeps it. And a penalty flag. Dick Burleson's crew talking things over. Vince Dooley offense with 4 turnovers and without a touchdown in this game. Let's see what Mr. Burleson has to say.
Grabbing the face mask, 5-yard penalty against the defense. Repeat, third down.
But remember, if it's a 5-yard penalty, it's only a penalty half the distance to the goal. So it does not get the first down for him. So it's about a 2.5-yard penalty.
The situation here in the fourth quarter. If the six lead, like Georgia needs about a half a yard for a first down and about 2 yards for a touchdown.
We like Tate 32 here.
There he is. Touchdown, Georgia. The Georgia Bulldogs put it in the end zone with Lars Tate.
Lars Tate is a senior. They like him near the goal line. He's a very competitive player from Indianapolis, Indiana. He drops his shoulder back and he wants to score as a senior, and he does. Georgia's got to go for 2 now. Kick an onside kick. Get lucky. Get another lucky play. Get back in this ball game. And you believe in miracles? Maybe.
I'll tell you, they're going to have to use up all the luck in the next 4-14 to get back in this.
But you know what? Coaches, and I mean this seriously, you never give up.
Sure. Coaches
never give up. They're trying to win this game. Vince still thinks he's got a chance of pulling this one out.
Now the Georgia 2-point conversion attempt. Jackson. Incomplete, a penalty flag. The intended receiver was Cassius Osborne, number 24. And the flag may mean that Georgia's going to get another crack at it here. We'll see which way the interference is going to go.
Jackson will roll to his right and throw the ball back to number 24, who's sneaking in the bottom of your picture, trying to get behind him. But good defensive position by the Auburn team, and they call pass interference on I don't know who.
Well, the official signal was a hold. But the flag was thrown there in the end zone, and I thought it was pass interference. Nonetheless, half the distance to the goal, so now a 2-point try from the 1.5 for Georgia. Think Tate now, Coach?
No, they'll run it. Roll out.
It's going to be Lars Tate. Can he get in? Yes.
Good call, Bob.
4:14 to play in the game. Georgia adds 2. And now the scoreboard story is 27-11.
You notice that play right there. They tail back number 32. Bob Rathman called it. In a clutch situation, give it to your great player. And Tate gets it in there, just does make it. Now, it's 27-11. 27-11 coming, an onside kick coming up. Now watch the good play here. Tate again gets the touchdown. They've got to have this touchdown, Tate. We're counting on you, and get it in there. And then watch Coach Vince Dooley. You never give up as a football coach. That's why this guy's a great person and a great football coach. Attaboy, Coach. We still got a chance.
4:14 remaining. Lars Tate with his 12th rushing touchdown. Scores all 8 points.
But Bob, excuse me, they've got a chance if and only if they get this ball right here.
Auburn bringing 10 men up within 5 yards of the 45-yard line. Steve Crumley is in to kick it. It's a live ball, and it looks like Auburn is balling on it at the Georgia 47-yard line. Now more scores. Here's Tim Brando. Timmy?
All right, Bob, thank you very much. The battle for the Rose Bowl, well, it was close, but only for a short time. This is the opening kickoff of the second half. Blake Ezor, the sophomore, out of Las Vegas, Nevada. He goes all the way down inside the 10-yard line. That would lead to a touchdown. That would set the tone, really. The Spartans win 27-3. George Perlis will join us between games. Alan Massengill is standing by live. Back to Georgia.
Okay, thanks, Tim. We look forward to hearing from George. Congratulations to Michigan State. Here's Harry Mose banging it out for a couple of yards.
What Auburn will do now with 4 minutes and 4 seconds to do, they'll give the ball to Bowles, they'll give the ball to the fullback, and they had a nice scoring drive of 51 yards, Georgia did, and they give the ball to their number 1 guy, Tate. Auburn will continue to have 2 hands on the ball and force Georgia to use those 3 timeouts. Tate had a great career here. It's not over. They got a game against Georgia Tech, and then they'll go to a major bowl game.
Mars Tate so desperately wanted that SEC championship. Harry Mose again. He's dropped at the 44, 27-11. Auburn leading. And of course, there's one more hurdle lead for the Auburn Tigers of Pat Dye. They've got Alabama in Birmingham on the 27th. And another must-win situation.
Yeah, that'll be on television. Over the past 3 seasons, Auburn has been on television 23 times. Since Pat Dye's been the coach there, they've had an average of 5 television appearances a year.
They played pretty well when they needed cameras that trained on them. Berger throws an interception. Georgia at the 30, 25 and down to the 20-yard line. Vince Guthrie picks off the pass. Never give up. 2:49 left, and Georgia's got another crack at it.
Okay, what they did that time, Auburn went to a crossing pattern, which is a real nice safe play, but Berger threw the ball behind the receiver, and Guthrie makes a good interception and goes down the sideline. Right there, Guthrie's going down, and Berger saves the play, and they're not out of it. Now, what they've got to do now is try to throw touchdown passes right now. They cannot use the clock. It's not over yet.
Jackson throwing to the end zone, and it's an incomplete pass. Oh my, just off the hands of Kurt Warner in the end zone. Oh, Lee, that had 6 points written all over.
Do you know what that would have done? It would have been 27-18 with 2 minutes and 43 seconds to go. Jackson just overthrows Kurt Warner, number 83, who dives out there and tries to make a sensational case. But let me tell you something. Jackson gets clobbered here, but he's not giving up. Bruce is all over him.
Second down and 10 from the Auburn 21. Jackson again. Over the middle, complete. Hampton at the 5. Rodney Hampton making the grab. Georgia's got it first and goal. The Auburn 5 with 2:33 to play.
All right, that's the time they drew Hampton, number 7. Watch number 7. He comes in fakes. We got a good ISO on him. He breaks it down in the middle. They throw it to him. He breaks away from 46 Phillips, and he goes down and makes a first down. Now, what they've got to do now is throw the ball into the end zone every time, because if they don't, that clock will get them.
Georgia brings the 2 tight ends in, Sadowski and Warner. Lewis in motion. Jackson pitching. Hampton wants to throw it. Looking, throwing, and it's intercepted. And now one official says incomplete. It's an incomplete pass. The Auburn coaching staff is irate. They thought they had the interception.
But Troy Sadowski saved his play. Watch, Hampton will throw the running pass into the end zone. The rule is for the receivers. If you don't catch it, make sure the other guy doesn't catch it. Now watch Troy Sadowski strip the ball loose right there. Terrific play by Troy Sadowski, number 87.
And a good look, too. The official from behind signaled interception and a touchback. But it was knocked loose. Now Jackson back line trying to throw. He's under pressure. And he shoots out of bounds wisely with 2:01 to go. Georgia. And game Jackson will have his third down at the 4-yard line.
All right, he's got 2 downs. He's got 3rd and 4. If he doesn't make it, he's got 4th and 4. What Pat Dye is concerned about right now is not only this touchdown, it's that next onside kick. He's got to get his onside kick team ready, given the fact that they might score. That next onside kick could be for the SEC championship.
He stopped at the 2. The clock continues to roll.
They got to call timeout here, so they,
Now they get the timeout. Georgia time with 1:50 to play.
Right, what they do is they slip Hampton into the flat. A good call from the sideline. Hampton's got the ball, but really a nice play by number 3, Porter, and number 45, Staples. Good play.
A minute 50 to play in the game. It's Auburn 27, Georgia 11. The Dogs have it, 4th and goal. Jackson dancing around. Big trouble. Throws it into the end zone. It's going to be incomplete.
Jackson rolled to his left. They had really good pressure on the outside. They knew they wouldn't come out to the outside, so they kept him contained. He rolled around to the right, and you're taught that if you're going to be caught, throw the ball in the end zone no matter what. Now, he rolls to the left. He gets really good defensive pressure to the outside. Now, here comes 39, Crane chasing him. He's going to get tackled right there. He just throws it in the end zone and hopes for something good to happen. It didn't. Auburn will win the ball game, but Georgia made a gallant effort to come back and beat Pat Dye and the Auburn Tigers.
This is the first time, I believe, that Auburn's Pat Dye is breathing easy. Now Auburn just has to take care of the football. Stacey Danley runs it out to the 6.
You know, as we were talking about at the top of the show, Auburn and Georgia have been playing for a long time, but I'm going to give you an interesting fact. The interesting fact is in the 1892 in the Auburn-Georgia game, Georgia's first mascot was introduced. You know what it was?
No.
A goat. Yeah, can you imagine those Georgia people say, how about them goats?
I like that. So the clock now starts to melt down in Auburn's favor. The Tigers in their history have claimed but 2 SEC championships. They can make it 3 in a couple of weeks against Alabama. Curtis Stewart running it straight ahead, but now the officials trying to keep things cool down there. Under 45 seconds to play.
Both these teams have had great teams in the past. Auburn won the national championship in 1957, and Georgia did it in 1980.
Pat Dye, the Georgia grad, 7th winningest active coach in the NCAA, and well, what's the secret, Lee? He's come back to his old stomping grounds. He's won 3 in a row in this stadium.
Well, first of all, they were on a mission. They're not intimidated by coming over here. Second, he's got a good staff. Wayne Hall is one of the best defensive coordinators in the country. He's talking to Bud Casey, the outstanding running back coach there. Pat Sullivan does a terrific job with the quarterbacks. He's got a good staff. He's got a good program, and obviously, he's got a big win over one of his favorite teams to beat, Georgia Bulldogs.
And this, quite a comeback. This team was trounced by Florida State just a week ago. They come back and play like they have today.
Yeah, but we looked at the films together on that, and that was not indicative of what happened. Auburn turned the ball over the first 3 or 4 times, and Florida State jumped on them. And Florida State's a great football team also. Today's Volvo players of the game are for Auburn, quarterback Jeff Berger, 22 for 32, 2 touchdowns, and 212 yards. And for the Georgia Bulldogs, the player of the game is Lars Tate. A TD, 14 carries, 54 yards. Volvo will donate $1,000 to the General Scholarship Fund of each school in these players' names. Barry Mose out of bounds at the 19. Auburn will raise its record to 8-1-1, 4-0-1 in the SEC. Georgia will fall to 7-3 and 4-2. One of the great treats that we've enjoyed here, particularly at halftime in this game,
was the Georgia band. I know you got a big charge out of that.
Boy, that's it. I got a statistic that's going to kill you. One of the most stable jobs at the University of Georgia has to be the Red Coach marching band director. In 82 years, they've only had 6 band directors.
Maybe you should have been a band director instead of a coach.
Obviously.
Outside, it's Stewart. Going to be sucking down. We mentioned Auburn, and that game left for all the marbles, November the 27th in Birmingham against Alabama, a big loser against Notre Dame today.
Auburn's got a week off. Georgia's got a big game against Georgia Tech. They got a week off. Both of these football teams will be in major bowl teams because they deserve it. They're coached by 2 of the finest coaches in the country, 2 of the finest gentlemen. They got first-class major league programs, and they will go to major bowl games and represent the Southeastern Conference in first-class fashion.
The expression is still the whole story. But it was Auburn domination. They kept the ball away from Georgia in the first quarter, never let the Dogs get anything going. They couldn't get this big crowd into the game for an emotional lift.
And when they got into the game, Berger took them right out of it with some sensational plays.
And we'll look back, I think, on that 3rd and 1 to start the second half. Auburn was driving. They had a big crucial 3rd down play, and instead of giving it off to Reggie Ware, they decided to kick it out to Harry Mosey. Went 55 yards and set up an Auburn touchdown. And the Tigers never looked back in this one. So another snap for the Tigers. Berger to one knee. Don't forget, coming up next, we got a dandy. One of the great rivalries in college football. The Penn State Nittany Lions and the Pitt Panthers at Pitt Stadium. That's coming up next right here on ESPN. Tim Brando in the studio. He'll be updating you with scores and highlights. Pat Dye getting the victory ride at Sanford Stadium in Athens, Georgia. For the 3rd consecutive time, Auburn wins at Georgia. The final score, Auburn 27, Georgia 11. Auburn remains unbeaten in the SEC with that tie against Tennessee, and they, of course, can wrap it up in a Sugar Bowl berth with a victory over the Alabama Crimson Tide in Birmingham in a couple of weeks. Vince Dooley's ball club gets ready for Georgia Tech. Its chances of a Sugar Bowl bid wiped out here today as Auburn wins it 27-11. 2 touchdown passes for quarterback Jeff Berger. For Lee Corso.